the St. Mary's Gales, their rival team happens to be the Gonzaga. Forgot what the Gonzaga.
The Zags.
I mean, that's their short nickname, the Zags. I forgot what or I guess that's what they are. But Gonzaga Bulldogs. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty basic. But
retract.
Thank you for listening and downloading the West Box Score podcast. I am your host, Donald Paz, aka D-Bot. And with me today is my co-host, Sonny Hermano. What's going on, Sonny?
What's up, D-Bot? Where's our compadre, Mr. Alex Gonzalez again? He joins one, and then he leaves one, and then he joins one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Alex is on assignment right now, actually. He's out here.
Wait, don't tell me. Wait. Don't tell me. He's scouting. He's spy-gating on LAFC at their Cal State LA training grounds because he showed us the photo. What was it, like 2 weeks ago? He texted us. He said, "Look at where I'm at."
Yeah,
and it's literally the team training. And it's like, "Yo, who are you, Bill Belichick or something? Why are you spy-gating?"
Hey, man, he's trying to make sure there's a one-up for the LA battle. So I mean, can't blame him, you know.
Yeah. No, we miss Alex, but we're going to try to do our thing and hold it down, just like we did a couple episodes ago. We promise no Mortal Kombat talk, maybe this time.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. It is a month away, technically. I think they said April 17th, 16th. Today's the March 17th, so we are 30 days out, you know. I was talking to Alex because I know he was excited to hear about it when we were talking about it, and he did say maybe we should do a review when it releases.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? We'll throw it at the end of the pod around that time. So
yeah, I'm down for that.
But yeah, man. So I mean, there's not much to talk about, but there is stuff to talk about, and obviously the NBA is underway, second half of the season. The Lakers, they put in work against Golden State, which was really nice to see them just overcoming that. And, yesterday they played against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I was watching that game on and off. And, the Timberwolves are really keeping up with the Lakers, which was really interesting because it almost made me feel like, man, I hope the Lakers don't really drop this. Like, this is against the Timberwolves. Like, they should be putting them away. And lo and behold, they did. Fourth quarter, they just took care of them. LeBron James with a triple-double, 25 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. Montrezl Harrell had a good night, too, with 5 points. Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Kuzma, and Talen Horton-Tucker with 16 points each. What were your thoughts, Sonny, on this Lakers kind of like second half start right now?
So far I've really been pleased with the way they've come out of the gate from the All-Star break. I feel like, as you and I had talked about prior to the All-Star break, it was something that we couldn't get here soon enough for this. And I think it was for this exact reason that the team just needed to reset for a minute, especially, in light of the quick turnaround start that there was to this season and the Lakers obviously having the least amount of rest along with the Heat. It just always felt like they never got a real big, rest break. And so the All-Star game, for better or worse, served as that function. Obviously AD is now getting that rest break, but which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But I think it was important for all the players to get that break mentally, and it shows. Like I've been really impressed, man, with Kyle Kuzma and his new role, or his new acceptance of his role and consistency, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that consistency continues. Because then I feel like, oh shit, okay, we got ourselves a squad. If Kuzma is locked into that fourth best player role, we're tough to beat, man. But that's with the caveat that our full squad returns at some point healthy.
That's true.
So I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Again, out of Montrez, I feel like we're getting exactly what we had hoped we were getting.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's been good to see, man. But I'm cautiously optimistic. Again, as I mentioned back when AD got injured, I knew it was going to be longer than what they initially had suggested.
Getting our hopes up,
sure
man.
Enough, exactly. And sure enough, I think you have the report of the updated timeline, right?
Yeah. So
for AD's
return. Now
return.
they said that Anthony Davis reportedly out for another 3 weeks with his Achilles injury, which
Right.
Was more of a setback than a lot of us had hoped for, given we were told one thing prior to the All-Star break. And yeah, man, it's tough to see the team without AD. Just because I feel like they could take care of the Timberwolves and they can take care of the Golden States of the league. Like the bottom teams, it's just tough when they have to play like the Jazz or the Suns, who are the two teams that they're below. Any of the contenders in the playoff bracket are the ones where I worry, and I'm like, man, I wish we had AD for these games. But man, we just gotta hope that Frank Vogel just does his best with the rotations. It seems like he's figuring it out. Like he's kind of like got like something going without AD, like a no AD rotation. And I think it's good to see that, and it's showing. But again, I'm not too crazy with the wins. I love that they won, but obviously it's the Timberwolves, the Warriors. I mean, not to sleep on the Warriors, because I think they are going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be one of those that fight for that 7th or 8th seed to get in, or in the playoff seed. And I think they're doing like a play-in round, right, this year.
Right.
They're bringing that back, so I could see them doing that. Timberwolves, unfortunately, I don't know, man. It's such a bummer to see that franchise just never get going. So
yeah, man, that franchise is borderline cursed now. I mean, I'm sure New York Knicks fans would beg to differ.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Timberwolves just haven't been right since KG left, man. Or maybe since KG left.
Kevin Love too.
Even since Kevin Love, but no, Kevin Love played for some shitty teams.
That's true.
He was a great player, but he played for some shitty teams. So really, once KG left, they really haven't done anything. And we're talking about what, like 13 years now?
Yeah.
So it's sad to see. And I totally get where you're coming from when you say, I don't get my hopes too high with seeing the Lakers beat bottom feeders, essentially. And again, not that the Warriors are bottom feeders like the Timberwolves, but none of us, I think, realistically expect the Warriors to compete for a title this year, right? So
yeah, that's true.
But on the other hand, what I do expect from championship teams is to, at the very least, find a way to take care of business against the teams you're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
To me, it's always a bad sign when you're losing to the teams that you're not supposed to be losing to. Because if we drop the game to the Phoenix Suns that's upcoming, we can point to something like AD and be like, hey, we don't have our full squad. What do you expect? But if you're dropping to, the bottom feeder teams, then I think it just shows how glaring and how much we rely on one dude to get all of our wins.
Yeah.
So it's been nice that the Lakers have showed that they can, stitch it together in the meantime and beat the teams they're supposed to without AD. But like I said, when Alex first, when we first, the injury just happened and Alex was like, when do you want AD back, or when do you feel you need him? I said it then and I'll say it now. Give him back to me week 1 of the playoffs, like day 1.
Yeah.
I don't care if he misses the rest of the regular season. I don't care if we fall to like the 5th seed, the 4th seed, the 6th seed. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it means we get a healthy AD to just finalize the run, I'll take that.
That's true. Yeah, me too, man.
But we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, speaking of, one thing I do want to mention, speaking of Kevin Garnett and the Timberwolves, or more importantly, speaking of Kevin Garnett and the Boston Celtics, our boy LeBron out here making some moves.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just
man.
some big boy moves, man.
Part owner of the Boston Red Sox.
That's right.
That's crazy.
That's right. Is that some payback to? Because that whole Boston team, when they look back at like their what they consider a dynasty, even though they just won one fucking title, and I don't understand why they look so like they look back at it like, oh, what we did was special. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. You guys were the first, big 3 that you put together.
That's true.
It's like, what did you expect? But anyways, I digress. So they always, one thing that KG and Paul Pierce and all them dudes always talk about is they look back fondly about how they stopped LeBron, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Is this LeBron giving the city of Boston a little bit more like, oh, I own you now, motherfucker?
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's so funny to see that. Yeah. That was crazy news, man. LeBron making moves, bro. Like that's powerful right there, man.
Yeah.
Not as a Dodger fan, not too fond that they, that it's a Boston thing, but it is what it is. I'm happy LeBron's getting his, man. He's definitely working his post career, his post basketball career. So he won't be struggling, and that's good to see, man. But definitely want to move on to the Clippers. They're playing right now against the Mavericks. as we tape, but they did beat the Mavericks the last time they met, which was about 2 days ago. Um, Kawhi Leonard had 21 points. The Clippers won 109-99. Ivica Zubac and Paul George both had 15 points each. Lou Williams and Marcus Morris with 14 points each. Clippers currently in fourth place behind the Lakers, the Suns, and the Jazz right now. Patrick Beverley was reading that he is going to miss playing. I think he's been missing some time playing, but he's going to miss tonight's game with the knee injury that he's recovering from. And yeah, man, I saw a little bit of the Clippers, not this Mavericks game, but I saw them against that first game they had after the All-Star break. And it's pretty interesting seeing them do their thing. It feels like they're doing their best to compete. I saw that Kawhi Leonard had a quote about how it's like you shouldn't, think that you're like not going to win the title. Like you should really believe that, the time is now to win it. So, I mean, it's crazy to see that, seeing Kawhi being so, I don't know, introverted, that he says something like that. And you're like, oh man, like it seems like he might be a little bothered if they don't pull something off, at least make it look competitive. But it's interesting to see how that roster does their thing. Don't really know much of the guys outside on the bench side, outside of Lou Williams, but it seems like they piece together pretty good lineups here and there. But yeah, my thing with the Clippers that I've seen is that they could be ahead at times, and then they just give up the lead, and then now the game's really competitive. So I don't know. It's a trend, but what do you think, Sonny? Have you seen anything on Clippers?
Yeah, I have, and I get the sense from the Clippers. I think you hit it on the head, but in saying that they've pieced together, to me, there are a bunch of individual pieces that maybe don't even fit. Like something's off about this team, man. Like they have the talent individually, but collectively, they don't give me the impression of like a team with great chemistry.
Yeah,
which is what you don't need great chemistry, but you need pretty damn good chemistry to be able to win a championship usually.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's just them still figuring it out. Obviously it's still a new coaching system for them with Ty Lue.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, even though he was there last season.
That's true.
But I guess it's like still undecided on this Clippers team.
Yeah.
Because again, they definitely have the talent, but I think it's what we said at the beginning. Who's going to be their leader at the end of the day? Like not just on the court, but like their vocal leader.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Kawhi speaking out like that, it was very uncharacteristically, and maybe that's him attempting to be that guy.
Yeah.
But when you haven't been that guy, it just kind of reads differently.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
So we'll see, man. I don't know what to expect from this Clippers team. I'll have a better idea for you after the first round of the playoffs, after I see them, and how they turn it on or get it together, and when they're all healthy and all the pressure's now on them. In many ways, I think the Brooklyn Nets, and you kind of had alluded to this in previous podcasts, have taken a lot of that pressure off of the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because the stink before was, the Clippers choked in last year's playoffs. And now it was like, what are they going to do to make sure they get to the Western Conference Finals, if not the finals?
Yeah.
And now it's not even like all eyes are on Brooklyn right now to see like, is this team going to pull it off? Are they going to go all the way and win it? And now the Clippers can kind of fly under the radar in a very Clipper fashion, and maybe they can get it done this way. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm curious.
And it's important to note that the NBA trade deadline is coming up next Thursday, actually. So not sure what the two LA teams are plotting. I know that there's rumors about Andre Drummond and how the Lakers could be a front runner, because it seems like they got to address that center position, because you can't have Montrezl be doing that every game. He's going to wear out, which I've said that before. And for the Clippers, man, I just don't know what assets do they have that they could move that are not Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like they're kind of stuck with that roster, which is kind of like interesting that they got to make something work with who they got. So,
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, the Lakers missed out on two players that I kind of was secretly hoping they would acquire, one of two, not both. I was hoping they'd make a run and either land PJ Tucker or Trevor Ariza, and both them dudes went to Eastern Conference teams. PJ Tucker went to the Bucks and Ariza to the Heat.
Yeah.
So that was like, damn. So now it's feeling like, because I feel like the Lakers are just one move away from, like you said, shoring up our center position in the event that AD is either not back or not right, not 100% when he comes back.
Yeah, that's true.
We need somebody to kind of help reinforce that position and give us a shot at least. So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. Hopefully by this time next week when we're recording the pod, we have some great, Laker news when it came to the trade.
That's kind of what we're waiting on, really. Like, we're enjoying the games, we're enjoying seeing the teams play, but right now we're kind of thinking like what this roster is going to look like come playoff time, what the rotations are going to be, and that's when it gets exciting. That's when the NBA gets exciting to me. I know it's kind of cliche to say it's the playoffs, but that's just it's elimination time, man. True. That's what's amazing,
It's true, man. And I'm excited about the play-in matchups. That's a dope wrinkle that I really enjoy. Or enjoyed last season in the pandemic. So
that was good.
Hopefully, man, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, moving on, we're going to talk about the NFL now. Free agency started 3 days ago. All our teams of the West Box Score, all of them have different places they're in, different salary cap situations. And real quick, I know Alex is in here to talk about the Rams. Usually this is, and in the football part, if you're just listening to us for the first time, we usually go based off our teams and we report on it. We're our own beat reporters for our own teams.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I report on the Chargers and Sonny reports on the Niners and Alex reports on the Rams. But right now he's at the training facility and trying to figure out, what they can acquire. But Ian Rappaport tweeted that the Lions are trading their 2023 7th round pick to the Rams in exchange for defensive tackle Michael Brockers. And the reason why the Rams did that is because with that move, they're now under the salary cap. So it seems like they couldn't get any sort of acquisitions until they started moving people around. And now that they're, under the salary cap, like they can eventually start making moves. But as of right now, I don't think they've done anything. I see that they put out a list, though. The Rams put out a list of like their unrestricted free agents and then the restricted free agents. A couple of the unrestrictions is center Austin Blythe, Blake Bortles, running back Malcolm Brown, which I would think you'd want to keep. Gerald Everett, tight end, who just signed to the Seahawks like about an hour ago, I want to say. It was like right before we were going to start taping that I saw that I believe it was Adam Schefter that was like, Seahawks took Gerald Everett, which I was like, oh man, I wonder what their tight end situation is going to be like. But I
think Alex is over there just throwing his hat in the rink, trying to catch some passes.
Yeah. You might have to suit up for the team if they can't acquire people, but it's interesting to see what the Rams do in the next couple of days. I'm sure they're going to make some moves for something. But of course, like a lot of the money's tied up in Aaron Donald. And I believe was it Jared Goff they had for that big extension that they didn't pay off. But it's interesting to see what the Rams do. So nothing crazy new with the Rams right now. It seems like their biggest goal right now for the day was just to get under the salary cap. So maybe next week we'll see if they make any big splashes on any big names. I know the Patriots have been signing people left and right.
Oof.
I know they took
They took somebody from your squad. They took somebody from my squad.
Yeah, it's kind of like what the heck. But real quickly on the Chargers, not too much to say. A lot of the juicy stuff in the free agency to me, when I was doing all the research, was on the Niners. So that's why I'm saving it for last. But Chargers, nothing crazy. They agreed to terms with center Corey Lindsey and guard Matt Failer. And they got a center and a guard, which is pretty obvious. They're trying to grab some good assets for Justin Herbert. I know the Chargers have been drafting linemen in the past couple of seasons, Forrest Lamp and Feeney, but the thing is those guys kept getting hurt like at training camp, so they never got to like play on the field a lot, which is a big problem. And they did that because they wanted to protect Phillip Rivers, and it just didn't pan out. So I think it's interesting to see that the Chargers are now going to go into free agency and sign guys instead of getting like rookies.
Yeah.
So it's a different strategy that they're trying. So let's see if this pays off. They kept cornerback Michael Davis, aka Vato. He's staying back for a multi-year deal. They re-signed the Money Badger, Michael Badgley, for a 1-year deal. They did release Casey Hayward, which is kind of hard for me to see that because I liked him, but I do get that, like, it seems like he spent all his great years here, and now he's kind of just kind of on a downward trend as a cornerback. Hunter Henry went to the Patriots, which I did not like seeing that move because I was hoping that they'd keep him. But I do understand that, like, you gotta pay him. You know what I mean? And the Chargers were not gonna pay him.
Yeah.
So. And outside of that, the Rayshon Jenkins signed to the Jaguars, and Denzel Perriman, another guy that I loved, going to the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, that's where the Chargers are at right now. So we'll see what other moves they make. And right now, so far, I'm kind of indifferent. I do not like the Hunter Henry move. I thought it would have been cool to have him stay. I liked his number 86, the year I was born. And I said on a Slack that we have on the NFL that if his jersey ends up at Ross or TJ Maxx, I'm definitely grabbing it.
Oh, it's ending up at Ross or TJ Maxx.
I'd be looking for them now, so should be fun. And then Perriman going too was a bummer. He's a good guy, but he kept getting hurt every year. Yeah. Great linebacker, but kept getting hurt all the time. But when he came through, and it was tough. I could see the Chargers being like, you know what, it's just not working out. But yeah, that's where the Chargers stand right now. And now we're going to go to the main event of this whole thing, which is the San Francisco 49ers.
Man, save the best for last. You know what this free agency has felt like for me as a 49ers fan, D-Bot? Do you have siblings?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I don't know if you experienced this, but I know I have. And think about Christmas morning, when you wake up, and if you're lucky enough, if you were lucky enough, there were some presents underneath the tree, right?
Yeah.
And, your siblings are there, and everybody's kind of going around opening like kind of one gift at a time. And the first few gifts that you open are like, yeah, these are cool. Like, this is what I wanted, but, it's not what I really, really wanted.
Yeah.
But I hope that unwrapped present that's still sitting under there, that big one, I hope that one's for me.
Yeah.
Because I've seen my siblings kind of open some pretty big ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just like waiting. And that's kind of what it's felt like as a 49er fan. It's like there's still one unwrapped big ass present under the tree, and I'm hoping it has our name on it, man. And that one big unwrapped present is Deshaun Watson.
Yes, sir.
Because all the moves, I loved all the moves that we've made in retaining certain players like Kyle Juszczyk, who to me is one of the most important players that we needed to re-sign as a fullback in the way Kyle Shanahan uses them in our system. Trent Williams, man, dude, that dude just like signed the biggest contract, I think, for a non-quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah. 6 years, $138 million. That's a lot of money, man.
That boy's going to eat, man. So good for him. Good for him. And I'm glad. And honestly, I'm glad we paid him up, and because all these moves, that we're making on the offensive line, and it's like it screams, come be our quarterback. Like, we will protect you. Now, on the one hand, I must say that if that big present doesn't end up being for us, right? Like, I'm okay sticking it out with Jimmy G. But there's something telling me that the moves that the Patriots were making, I feel like were moves, even though Cam Newton technically re-signed with the Patriots, it feels like all the moves that the Patriots made are like with the idea of Jimmy Garoppolo being their quarterback.
That could be.
Which for me, it's like, okay, if you guys are thinking of getting Jimmy G, and I'm sure there's some back alley deal that's already kind of like a wink been made between, because they're boys, Kyle Shanahan and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's this like, hey, if you guys get that guy, will you trade us your guy? And now we're all happy, and we'll help you get that guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm praying, man. I'm praying that last present that's under the tree is Deshaun Watson, dude, because all reports indicate that it's basically us, and I think the Broncos are on this list.
Yeah, that's the report.
Which to me, it's like, how is this even a comparison, bro? Come on, us or the Broncos?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to the Broncos. Bowl, that's too much, man. That's too much on the AFC West side. Like,
yeah. Not just that. I mean, again, it's like the Broncos. Come on, man. We just went to the chip. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm praying, man. Fingers crossed. I know Alex doesn't want to hear this. I know Alex would shoot this down immediately if he was here because it would be like the boogeyman for him if the Niners ended up with Deshaun Watson. But we'll see. I have a hunch. I have a really good feeling that we might find a way, but it's going to be all in that incompetent franchise that is the Houston Texans. Just part with their guy. This feels like AD and the Pelicans all over
again. Yeah, that is
true. This time with the Niners instead of the Lakers. So we'll see. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. An interesting offseason where you just try to, it's like poker. You try to keep that steady hand. You're like, no, we're cool. Don't worry. But really, you're like, I want to fucking win so bad.
I did see that Colin Cowherd was saying that he thinks that the Niners are going to draft a rookie QB.
Which I wouldn't be mad at that either, to be honest. Because think about it. It's scenario A to me is the dream scenario. We find a way to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Scenario B is we run it back with Jimmy G, but we draft a rookie quarterback to kind of be like the next in line. Like, all right, Jimmy, you got a short leash.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're going to groom this other dude to be our own guy. So those are the two options, and I'm okay with both of them. It's like 1A and 1B in that scenario. So, but we'll see, man. It's sometimes I fear that like Kyle Shanahan, we all refer to him mostly as a genius.
Yeah.
That his arrogance maybe gets in his way where he's like, I could turn any quarterback into a Super Bowl quarterback. And it's like, no, like not every quarterback is Deshaun Watson, fool. Like if you have the chance to get him. So,
and John Lynch is a good GM. I mean, he, for the most part, he knows how to negotiate deals. So it's good to have that, But I'm sure like with that report, that definitely puts the Niners in the front seat. I could see assets being given up that are worth grabbing for the Texans, but again, it depends on what's on the table. So
we'll see.
And it's important to note that the NFL draft will be happening on April 29th to May 1st.
Okay, so we still got a month,
about a
month and a half before.
That's what I said. I think next week we're gonna see what plays out, especially the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes for sure.
And I don't think that's going to be resolved anytime soon. I think the Texans are going to hold out as long as they possibly can, which is going to be torture for me.
Yeah.
As I continue to wait to open that present, potentially, that it's going to be like, oh, come on, just tell us no already or send them to somewhere else so that I can move on with my life.
Yeah, exactly. Man, poor Jimmy G, man.
I know.
It's like, I know what you mean, dude. But I don't know. I think that it feels like, the crazy part about the NFC West is that it looks like all Seahawks, Niners, Rams are all like trying to retool as best as they can to get back out there and make the playoffs. And that's just a scary thing to see if you're any other division,
Not to mention the Cardinals picking up J.J. Watt.
Oh, that's right. Oh, he did go to the Cardinals. That's right. I was thinking, I know J.J. Watt left. I forgot what it was. Yeah, that's right. He picked. Yeah, dude, it's insane, dude. That's going to be a tough conference to go up against. I don't even know who. I didn't see who you guys have in terms of like what other conferences you're playing, but yeah, man, that's always tough, dude. That's gonna. I mean, I don't know if it's Carolina or something going against all four of you teams. It's probably like 4 losses already. Like that's what it's feeling like, But yeah, formidable opponents, all 4 of you. That's why you and Alex, have such a good time during the NFL season.
Yep.
So yeah, man.
We'll see. Fingers crossed, man.
But yeah, not too much in the MLB side. We're gonna move on to MLB. Currently in spring training. I mean, I've seen the Dodgers do a couple things, win, lost. Pretty cool to see some of the players develop. Obviously, opening day's happening in a couple of weeks. Probably we're halfway through the month to get there, so should be fun. Opening day, April 1st. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on the Mariners. Have you seen anything you like, Sonny, on the Mariners?
Man, there's nothing. The only thing I've seen is the Dodgers and Mariners did play about a week ago, and it was like a 4-4 draw, which of course happens in spring training.
Yeah.
Alex's boy Trevor Bauer did pitch in that game, and he didn't look too great, man. But it's spring training, so what do you expect? I think he stranded the bases loaded twice, and they have these weird rules in spring training, and I think because there is no minor league teams that are allowed to concurrently play right now.
That's true.
That pitchers are able to exit the game and then return later, and then there's a pitch there's a pitch count for pitchers at the end of like they'll call an inning if the pitcher's already thrown too many. That happened to Trevor Bauer against the Mariners. Bases were loaded. We were about to just bust it open, and they had to call the inning because the fool had pitched too many innings, too many pitches already. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Wow, I didn't even know that, dude. I saw the rules change for the season where like they went back to no DH for the NL, but they are keeping the double headers to 7 innings and the second baseman if it's extra innings. But I just think it's so weird. Like, why allow some and remove some? I mean, I was okay with the universal DH. I don't think it was a big deal, but it's kind of weird that they did that. I didn't even know they had extra rules like that on spring training. That's odd. Like, that's really odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's spring training. It's just like
it's crazy.
It's a training
I know.
thing.
I
like
mean,
it's not that serious.
It's because of spring training that I don't really care. That it's like whatever, you can make up your rules like however it goes. But I just found it to be pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this new season, man. This new semi-regular season, I guess, because they're going to play the full 162 games?
162 games, yes.
Yeah, they're going to play the full 162, and so now we're going to, it's going to feel quote unquote normal, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then obviously California opened up, so we're still waiting on word on what the capacity is going to be for Dodger Stadium and Angel Stadium, and we'll see what happens. But I could totally see like fans being in the stadium come summertime and all that. So for all the teams, you know what I mean? I think it's only a matter of time before the rest of the states start to catch up and start lessening the restrictions. And then I guess it'll start feeling like a normal season, quote unquote. But I don't know. I think it's interesting seeing, I was watching, obviously you've seen like Duke had to end their season for basketball and seeing all these college teams pull out because of positive COVID tests. And it's kind of interesting to me at least to see like positive COVID tests being reported given that like the vaccine's out there. But I do get that like, you can't jump the line either. So you have to wait your turn.
Right.
But I can imagine in the next couple of months, once they start opening up the vaccination to other people, if the players eventually get it, then I think that'll definitely be like full force. Like we're not postponing anybody's game at all. So
yeah. Well, speaking of NCAA, I mean, March Madness, baby. I guess it's happening. Yeah. Even though it's kind of weirdly, like you just said, not featuring some of the teams that we're used to being in this thing.
That's true, man.
So.
And they're doing the bubble thing, which is kind of odd to see now, given that like we were seeing the NBA play in regular, just going to, you know what I mean? Like, but I get it. Like it's college, it's a bunch of teams, it's too many students. You're not going to be able to like do the visiting thing of keeping all these stadiums like at will. So, we'll see how it plays out with March Madness. I'm seeing people fill out brackets and stuff. I haven't done it because I just feeling a bit unmotivated because it's like, well, you're not seeing like the whole thing. Like it's not like a pure March Madness. It's kind of like whoever's left,
Which weirdly makes it feel like widely open. Like literally nothing would surprise me. Like if there's a 16 seed that actually goes the whole damn way this year.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me. This is the year to bet that would happen.
That's true, man. Yeah, and like so my buddy, he went to St. Mary's. Shout out to Billy. He listens to our podcast.
Shout out.
And his rival team, the St. Mary's Gales, their rival team happens to be the Gonzaga. Forgot what the Gonzaga
the Zags.
I mean, that's their short nickname, the Zags. I forgot what I guess that's what they are, but Gonzaga Bulldogs. Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty basic.
Retract.
Yeah, so the Gonzaga Bulldogs are their rival. Like it gets crazy when they play against each other, and it's crazy to see that Gonzaga's like undefeated and they're like number one and probably the favorite to win this whole thing. But it is interesting because it feels kind of still wide open. You know what I mean? I mean, the only thing about March Madness is there are upsets, so it only takes one game to ruin it for you. But it is interesting to see how it's going to play out. So I'll definitely be like kind of watching it from a spectator standpoint, especially once it gets to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. That's definitely where it gets fun. But man, I'm hoping for some Cinderella story to happen, man, for sure.
Who are the Pac-12 teams that are? Is Pac-12 participating in this?
Yeah, they should. I mean, let me see. Like Pac-12 championship is.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, because all the championships happened already. Where
yeah, I know Oregon's in it. Oh, UCLA is playing one of the playing games, the playoff for the number 11
so they're gonna fight to get in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I see Oregon's like the number one team.
in the Pac-12.
Yeah, in the Pac-12 overall record. Yeah, I mean UCLA is always they're always in it. That's like the only team on our side that like makes it to these things, and it'd be fun to see them win it, bro. Like I totally would be more into the March Madness if UCLA like actually competed.
Of course, you get
Yeah.
hyped if the local team represents, but we'll see. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I know there's not much to say about the MLS. They're just practicing, training. I think
1
transfer
month
window
away.
probably. Yeah, we are 1 month away. Yeah, exactly. Today's March 17th. The opening, the first day of match day is going to be April 17th for a couple of the teams. So it should be fun.
And let the record show that when the MLS was trying to pick who to match up against their new shiny toy, their marquee franchise right now being Austin FC, they said it only makes sense that we pit them against our best. And they pit them against LAFC, baby. The league opener, season opener for the brand new franchise for Matthew McConaughey's squad, up against my boys LAFC at Bank of California Stadium. I guess that's still what we're calling it right now. So yeah, be on the lookout for that because for sure that's going to be an ESPN or primetime game. I know Alex can't wait. He's got his DVR set already, and it should be fun, man. It's going to be a fun way to kick off the season.
Yeah, man. And how's it working out for you with the season tickets and stuff? Like, have they reached out to you for anything?
I just got an email today about this opportunity, in quotations, about joining the media day via Zoom.
Okay.
On Friday, I think the 19th. They still haven't sent any emails about or any notifications about what they're thinking in terms of seat capacity and how they're even going to manage that. Quite frankly, I'm okay if they don't figure it out until, the summer when more of us have the vaccine at that point. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I haven't gotten anything official about like, hey, these are the dates that are available for you to come and attend the game. So I'm curious to see though how they're going to figure this out, because even if it is socially distanced or limited capacity, it's like you have so many season ticket holders. How are you going to alternate this?
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. I kind of felt like I kind of think that's the tricky part about reopening, right? Is that like you got people in every sport, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, and all these leagues, all these teams are all telling you like, "Oh, sign up for our season tickets." I saw Chargers were doing it and all that, but then I thought about like the capacity limit, and I was like, wait, like so, like how do you go about it? Like, what if you had so many season ticket holders that would already meet the capacity limit? Like, you can't tell some that they can't go, right? Like, that would feel unfair because they're season ticket holders. But then it would, kind of leave the single game people that would have bought a game ticket to now. I don't know. It'll feel like a subscription package. Like, if you're not subscribed, you can't come to the games.
That's my guess. Is that it's going to be incentive for people to get package type programs, or season ticket packages, because I would be pissed if they limited season ticket holders. Even though, again, my own comfort level notwithstanding.
Yeah.
But if I found out that they were still trying to sell individual game tickets to non-season ticket holders and yet telling season ticket holders, "Oh, we're rotating," it's like, whoa, you're doing this wrong. You gotta make first dibs for all your season ticket holders first.
Yeah.
And then, if your season ticket holders pass up, then you can, go and try to find buyers of certain tickets. But we'll see, man.
Yeah, man. I just feel like if you're a season ticket holder, you gotta have a seat within that whatever the capacity percentage is. Like, you should be accounted for that. Like, yeah. Like, and then just leave people who are buying single tickets to just say, hey, there's no more tickets left for this game or whatever. But then at the same time, I think you would have to tell season ticket holders to RSVP for these games,
right?
Which
exactly.
I'm sure they're gonna hold that to you guys. But yeah, I was wondering how that played out with you because I know you're a season ticket holder for LAFC, so I was like, oh man, I wonder how that's going to play out with the capacity limit. But yeah, I think as the months pass, they're going to loosen more restrictions. I feel then it's not going to be a big deal. And then we won't even know it's a COVID season before you know it'll be like,
Yeah,
it'll
no
just
kidding,
transition
man.
in the middle of the season as a regular.
I'm telling you,
feeling season.
that's already the Galaxy feeling. They're prepared. I'm telling you, it's like, what? COVID happened? We have the same amount of fans, no matter what.
Oh man, Sonny with the hating, dude.
I have to come at you a little lighter because you know Alex is usually it's unfair. I got Alex throwing heat at me, and then you'll just kind of secretly support him. But this time, Alex ain't here, so I just got to give you some of that heat, man.
It's all good, man. You know, don't really have much to say in return outside the fact that, like, hopefully the Galaxy. I do love the new jersey, man. I do. That's definitely one thing I love, that new green jersey. So
I gotta fully admit, man, I think they're clean. You know,
I like it, man. So I do feel like that's the one thing we have right now on LAFC. It's like, look, we got this since '96. Look, all right.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You know, one of these days I'm gonna have to bust out my LA Galaxy jerseys, throwbacks.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to bust them out. You know, I've got them. I've got a couple signed ones.
Oh, nice.
Throwback player, Mauricio Cienfuegos, man.
Dang, that's my guy, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's my guy. My dad, that's the reason why we got into it, because my dad was like, yo, Cienfuegos, he's Salvadorian. My dad's Salvadorian. So it was like the connection. And I think that's kind of what won a lot of the Salvadorian market for the LA Galaxy. Just for that sure. Dude. It's just like one guy.
For sure. That poor bastard just ruined a bunch of people's lives. No, I love Mauricio Cienfuegos, man. I love watching him play. Again, if you haven't tuned into this podcast, yes, I am a diehard LAFC fan. But prior to LAFC, I'm always just a diehard soccer fan. So, of course, naturally, when MLS was first a thing, I was intrigued. I was interested. The quote unquote local team, and at the time they did play in LA, or at least closer to LA, at the Rose Bowl or in Pasadena. You know, so I naturally followed along. I wouldn't say I was quote unquote a fan.
Yeah.
But I was following, and so that's why when Alex tries to speak out of pocket, I have to put him in his place because he's a newbie. Yeah. You know, and so it's like, no. I've been here since I'm what you would have called a day one for the MLS/Galaxy.
Yeah.
But I fell off that boat because it just didn't do it for me, man, until LAFC came and saved the day.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, for me too. I watched it in the beginning a lot, and then once they went through that low phase of not winning, it's always tough to watch a team when they don't win. And then they got David Beckham, and then I kind of was watching David Beckham do his thing, and then obviously they were winning cups with him, and then obviously the Landon Donovan was kind of cool to watch, especially because it transitioned to the U.S. national team and stuff, which is kind of funny to see that at that time, like, he was our best player, given like what the U.S. squad looks like now. It's to be like, man, like, I don't know if he'd make the cut, but hey, you know, baby steps, I guess. It's like in a way he's still a pioneer in that regard. But
absolutely, the same way Alexi Lalas was a pioneer, as annoying as that dude can be, you know.
Exactly, dude. Even though Lalas is like kind of weird, his takes. Like, I almost feel like he's a little bothered with like how it looks now and how he wasn't, like, he's not in his prime now, where, you know, how it was then, or maybe he thinks we forgot what it was before.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, dude, like, no one forgets, at least if you're a soccer fan. It's just one of those things that just happen, and we're just not that hyped to talk about versus, you know, Christian Pulisic. That's just all it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
yeah, exactly.
Nothing
different
crazy.
Times, man. Different times.
But yeah, man. So we'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening to the West Box Score podcast. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at WestBoxScore. I'll include that in the show notes. I know sometimes I forget, but I'll definitely be including that in the show notes. Follow Sonny Hermano and Primo Rick at the Fox Crate Podcast. Sonny, you got anything coming up with the Fox Crate you want to plug?
Yo, so I just was exchanging text messages with Primo Rick earlier this morning, and we were trying to scheme. You know, I had to move recently, so you know, the challenges that come with moving, you know, obviously take up a lot of your time. So we had planned a couple episodes, but now that I'm moved in as much as I could be, we're trying to kick it back up so we have a few guests lined up. So stay tuned, man. But
nice, man. That's really good, man, dude. I was waiting for the Grammy special.
Yeah, dude, that was part of the plan. And especially as it just came and went. I was like, but yeah, we got some thoughts on that. So stay tuned, and we'll be tackling all of that.
I have to wait for the Country Music Awards special.
CMA special.
Was it American Music Awards, Country Music
That's
Awards?
right.
Eventually, you guys are just gonna pivot to all the awards, VMAs.
Exactly. What was the MTV one? Freaking.
Oh yeah, the VMAs, Video Music Awards.
VMAs, yeah.
What are the other ones? There's some that are kind of jokey
We did the
ones. Like
iHeartRadio one.
Billboard, for whatever reason, they make it seem like, oh, I won a Billboard.
Yeah, we're gonna do
like,
the ASCAP Awards, the BMI.
Oh man,
we're gonna do it all. Man.
But yeah, man. So yeah, follow Sonny at the Fox Crate Podcast. They're on Instagram. I believe they're on Twitter too.
Kind of.
I know it's tough, dude. It's tough keeping the social side of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you love this show, if you love the Fox Crate, if you go check it out, please subscribe, leave us a review, and also special thanks to Blue Wire Hustle. They're our media partner. You can follow them at Twitter at Blue Wire Hustle. You can hit them up, reach out to them, see if you want to start your own sports podcast. They're really helpful. I'll include their link also on the show notes as well. So until next week, guys, later.
Peace.